Welcome to Seven Ruse, a channel broadcasting true stories. Today, we will present the novel The Watchmaker's Daughter. The Clockmaker's Daughter, the old shop on Cobblestone Lane. In the heart of London, where the fog clung to the streets like a weary traveller, there stood a small, unassuming shop on Cobblestone Lane. Its windows were dusty, and the sign above the door, which read, Mr. Thaddeus Wren Clockmaker, was faded with age. Yet, to those who knew its secrets, the shop was a place of wonder. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of oil and metal. Shelves lined the walls, filled with clocks of every shape and size. Grandfather clocks with solemn faces, delicate pocket watches that whispered of forgotten romances, and ornate cuckoo clocks that seemed to hold the laughter of children within their wooden frames. Mr. Thaddeus Wren was a man of precision, his hands steady and his mind sharp. But his greatest creation was not a clock, it was his daughter, Eliza. With her golden curls and eyes as blue as the summer sky, Eliza was the pride of Cobblestone Lane. Yet behind her cheerful smile lay a mystery that even her father could not unravel. The stranger's visit. One evening, as the lamplighter made his rounds and the shadows grew long, a stranger entered the shop. He was a tall man, cloaked in a dark coat with a face that seemed carved from stone. His eyes, cold and calculating, scanned the room before settling on Eliza. "Good evening," he said, his voice smooth but devoid of warmth. "I am in need of a clock, a very special clock." Mr. Wren, ever the gentleman, stepped forward. "And what kind of clock might that be, sir?" The stranger's lips curled into a faint smile. "A clock that can turn back time." Eliza, who had been quietly observing from the corner, felt a shiver run down her spine. There was something about the man that unsettled her, something she could not quite place. The secret of the clock. As the days passed, the stranger became a frequent visitor to the shop. He would sit for hours, watching Mr. Wren work, his eyes never leaving the intricate gears and springs. Eliza, curious and brave, began to suspect that the man's interest was not in the clocks, but in something far more valuable. One night, after her father had retired to bed, Eliza crept into the workshop. The moon cast a pale light through the windows, illuminating the tools and half-finished clocks. As she approached the workbench, she noticed a small, ornate box hidden beneath a pile of papers. Inside was a key unlike any she had ever seen. Suddenly, the door creaked open and the stranger stepped inside. "I see you've found it," he said, his voice low and menacing. "The key to the clock that can turn back time." The truth revealed. Eliza's heart raced as the stranger advanced toward her. "What do you want?" she demanded, clutching the key tightly. The man's smile was cold. "Your father's greatest secret, the clock that can undo the past. With it, I can change everything." But Eliza was not afraid. She had inherited more than her father's golden curls. She had inherited his courage. "You'll never have it," she said firmly. "Some things are meant to stay in the past." With a swift motion, she threw the key into the fireplace, where it melted into nothingness. The stranger's face twisted in rage, but before he could act, the sound of footsteps echoed through the shop. Mr. Wren, awakened by the commotion, stood in the doorway, a look of determination on his face. A new beginning. The stranger fled into the night, never to be seen again. As for Eliza and her father, they returned to their quiet life on Cobblestone Lane. The shop remained a place of wonder, but its greatest treasure was not a clock. It was the bond between a father and his daughter. And though the clock that could turn back time was lost forever, Eliza knew that some things, like love and courage, were timeless. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell. Wait for us in the upcoming videos.